Out there, and welcome to Friday's edition of Newspapers Today. My name is Oladayola Nipekun, and with the guest in the studio, Comrade OSBC. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you.
We'll be taking you through 12 newspapers that are in the studio. I have this day, I have the blueprint. Business Day is in the studio. I have the Daily Trust, Nigerian Tribune, New Telegraph, The Guardian, the Dash from Friday, Daily Times, The Punch, The Nation, and of course, The Point. The political environment in the country will take central spread or places of interest in the newspapers we have today. Of course, the face-off between the federal government and NASU seems to be really decided again if what we have in the newspapers have anything to do with it, or if we are really, if it is the truth that what we may be reading in the newspapers today are nothing but the real issue. The security alert of the UK and the US on Nigeria is still having place of interest in the newspaper, and of course the economy and inflation, and of course the Naira redesignation is also with us here in the studio. My name is Oladayola Nipekun, and like I said, welcome to Friday's edition of Newspapers Today. I will start from the banner headline of this day newspaper. Below the nameplate, UN lauds Obasanjo's role as Ethiopia, Tigray sign peace deal. And of course, still on the front page of this day, 2023 elections won't be decided in Paris or Dubai. APC mocks PDP article. And this coming from PDP says, Melai scores Setima, says presidential villa not for bandits. Comrade, should we be having this kind of utterances from our parties when the country seems to be battling with the economic issues? And don't forget that they signed a peace accord. Should we be handling issues or this synonyms?
Well, thank you very much. There will always be issues because election period in Nigeria always places Nigeria at the edge of precipices, and we have seen it that Nigeria is always is like a war. And then you find out that people begin to make utterances that will hit up the polity. It has always been the traditional election in our political process in this country. So utterances that could generate crisis, that could lead to violence, has been the tradition of our political actors and actresses. So when we hear all these utterances, it should not be a news to us. We know, but even despite the peace accord, the peace accord has never been effective. It has never been impactful in our political processes. So it's just one of those window dressing issues, or window dressing attempts. It's just to let the whole world know there's a peace accord in Nigeria when election is coming. But you and I know that election period is always like a period of war in this country. So it's quite the
political maturity in us.
Do we really have politicians that we could say, oh, these are mature politicians? Because it depends on the structure and the organizational structure of the party that produces all these politicians, or where these politicians belong to. And when you look at the structures of our political party, how many of them do have the semblance of what could be referred to as normal political party structures? Parties that do not have discipline. Party that is just like a platform.
Or where individuals above the party.
Yeah, individual is the party here. Whatever individual says is what the party says. Therefore, we don't have mature political structure. And as such, you cannot have mature politicians within those structures, because it is not real political parties. It is not the political parties of any other same clime. You know, our own here is, you know, a semblance of a platform for sharing of power.
But shall we go to the front page of Blueprint newspaper? This time, the security aspect, Abuja security threat, Korea Republic differs with US, UK, others, and with these riders, says it never contemplates suspending activity in Abuja, urges federal government to build up borders. And that rider says troops killed 48 terrorists, 145 surrenders in 2 weeks, defense headquarters.
You see, all these things about UK and USA security alert, I think it is not I don't see it. It should not be viewed from political standpoint, because security cannot be politicized. And then that is one of those things, one of those issues with our politicians, that we do not have mature politicians. If we have mature political elite, you don't treat the matter of security. No, not only that, politically, you don't handle it as a political matter. It's about the life of your citizen. So it should not be taken with levity. You see, and one begin to wonder some of the statements issued by the presidency and some political elite that US is just making a hoax. It is not. And remember, when US...
Perhaps the alarm seems to be overriding the activities of the security. Maybe that's why.
No, you see, they have raised such alarm before in Nigeria. Nigeria government did not take it serious. For instance, before the Dapchi kidnap, those girls were kidnapped. There were security alerts raised from this US and UK, but Nigeria government did nothing. And those people went. Can you imagine when they now went to a school and kidnapped about 400 students? How? Where are the security? Is there no intel report? You know, we don't take our intelligence report. This report, I learned from a source that our DSS they had done something. They had this similar report. You know, our security department in this country have similar reports in which they are forwarded to the power that be, the appropriate authorities, and they have not acted on it for reason that is best known to them. It doesn't mean until everybody is killed that you now begin now to act, organize a fire brigade approach to the lives and the property of people. Our government needs to step up their seriousness and with their citizens. Look, USA, when they realized that the Taliban has taken over government in Afghanistan, they evacuated their citizens. The same similar thing happened in Iraq. Similar thing happened in Syria. It happened in India. It happened in Vietnam. So Nigerian situation, if they evacuate their citizens here, they don't joke with their own citizens' life. You know, you can't blame them. It is our own people that are not serious with their citizens.
Okay. Still on security, they come as defense organization of Nigeria seems would have summoned leaders or heads of security agencies for non-patronage still on security.
Yeah, because the way and manner the head of the security are responding is not the normal way that issues of security should be handled. You know, for instance, the governor of Ondo State, I'm just citing this as an instance. The governor of Ondo State said, if the governor of if the Katsina government could now procure AK-47 for their vigilantes, allegedly, you know, that they too, nothing stopped them. Just an example. Immediately after that statement from the governor, the chief of defense staff issued a statement immediately that they will not tolerate any state to embark on that. But you see now, it took time before the chief of defense staff is now issuing a statement. They are now coming out to say, it is not. I don't think, because you see, there is no country without intel report. UK cannot make US. They have powerful intelligence agencies. USIS in Ibadan is to monitor the Southwest on intelligence matter. What you don't know here, the people in America will know. They will know. What you have not heard, they will be the one to tell us here, because they are powerful in terms of intelligence gathering, you know. And then, who established our intelligence network in Nigeria? Isn't it not the UK? It is the UK, okay. The British colonial administration established all these things.
Yeah, it's still on the front page of Blueprint. Buhari OK's release of 12,000 metric tons of grains for flood victims.
Is that the next thing?
No, they should
the victims.
Yes.
The matter should not. You see, the way I'm sorry, you know, if the flood, what's the cause of the flood?
It's been addressed. There's a committee now.
They have to. There's a committee.
But those who are already affected, they have been taken care of.
No, it's not bad. It's a good aspect that the victim have been taken care of. But the cause of the flood, you know, should be addressed properly. You know, it should be, at least, let me tell you, this flood issue, there has been an alert since February.
By NIMET.
By NIMET. Since February this year, there has been an alert that the rain that is coming will be heavy. And it is people, the government should prepare, you know, all the flooded areas should be, you know, taken care of, and they were itemized. Nothing was done.
But we pray we're going to survive. The Business Day newspaper, the front page, passport offices to open in hotels, banks amidst delays. It's like the passport offices are having more influx of more people.
Yeah, when the country economy is bad, and the inflation rate as at you know, is about 21.78. You know, people, the life becomes unbearable for people. You and I know that the rate of the unemployment is very high, and the inflation rate is very high. Then the economy, the salary people has, or the income that people has, cannot match up with their standard of living. You know, living in Nigeria becomes an example of a year, and people are just managing themselves. The younger ones that have the opportunity to leave the country, they have to leave. You know, it happens to India, it happens to China at a particular point in time of their history. So what is happening in Nigeria that people must move out to go and look for a way to survive? You can't blame anybody for that. It's only because you and I may feel that, probably we are too, you know, we are old.
We are too japa.
But this younger one that could not be provided with employment, there is no social protection, then life becomes an hopeless situation. So they have to leave. I'm not encouraging people to leave, because it's quite disheartening that you have to leave your country. Those who are supposed to be productive, the younger tomorrow, as they used to claim, are now leaving their environment to another environment. You know, how do you call them back? When you cannot provide for your children, they go and beg somewhere else.
Shall you go to the front page of Daily Trust? Naira design. 3 governors under our radar over starched cash. EFCC chairman, and with his following riders, says state chief executive mulling table payments to launder money. And another says commission to intensify bureau de change lead, monitor banks, and cautions people selling property to others. That is the Naira design. AFC says the 3 governors under their radar.
You see,
under their watch list.
In 1984, this is the style of General Buhari administration. In 1984, it was done. They changed the face of Naira because it was alleged that some politicians have stockpiled Naira in their own various rooms, and they have created votes for Nigerian money. You see that the big people, those who owns Nigeria, let me put it that way, those who claim to be the owner of Nigeria, they don't go to bank. They stockpile money in their homes, and there's any money they need, no matter how big it is, they don't leave such money from the bank. They don't engage in any banking transaction, and they put their money in bureau de change, and bureau de change is their bank. You understand? But what is going to happen now is that you will find out that they will not lift such money to any bank.
EFCC will say it's monitoring the bureau de change.
That is the thing. They will take the money to. I read from a report from the Daily News, one of the Daily News, where a bureau de change said they have, lifted, they have received almost $1 billion for dollar. People will not go to bank; they will use their money to buy dollars. And then it is all this thing is caused by the government. The government.
No, but the EFCC says they are being monitored.
How many people do they want to monitor?
If you do not state offices.
See, there are some people you cannot even know that they have money at home, and they have serious money. They have faults. They are operating a fault. We just would not want to. We are deceiving ourselves in this country. EFCC will say that, but bureau de change is the business of some ethnic group in this country. Okay,
so still on the front page of Daily Trust, INEC chairman to reps don't go to government houses. That's the INEC chairman asking his research commission not to go to government houses.
If they do not go to government houses will go to them. Wherever they are. You see, we always issue all these statements are not really good for their own operation. But the moment you issue this issue this kind of statement, your people will caution themselves. Those who want to also buy them will also caution themselves and devise another means of getting in touch with them. It's not difficult at all.
Well, we still on the front page of this time around front page, New Telegraph. So still on the switch to government house. 2023, INEC bans reps from government houses on official meetings with politicians. You just said they
will go to their hotels and meet them.
And they say on the front page of New Telegraph, this is coming from the Minister of Education. I failed as Education Minister, Adamu.
Well, thank God, this is the first minister
that will accept that he has failed.
Accept responsibility. It is not in our tradition.
It's not Nigerian.
It is not Nigerian. And then I think the pressure must have been so much that he has to also. Is he not electoral? Was he not electoral before? Before he became a minister. So, and he will still go back to the same university.
Well, that is why
after his office, after leaving office. So he has to accept the responsibility.
Yes.
If the government cannot pay their salary, the salary of the ASU workers, and they were now paying half salary, it's quite unfortunate that they could not convince the government to pay their full salary for 8 months because it's a contractual agreement.
Front page, The Guardian. After Emirates, more airlines to quit over $500 million trapped funds.
Because you see, the way and manner the aviation industry is being run in this country, it's not like that in every other country. It's not like that even in a smaller country like the Republic of Benin or Ghana. They don't do all those things. Then the prices of the aircraft fuel is on the high side.
Aviation fuel
is on the high side. It's quite on the high side. Unlike any other countries of the world. And if the ticket people buy for $450, it's not about 1.5, 1.2. So even in local business, at the local flight, if you want to buy a ticket from Ibadan to Abuja, it's about 80,000. From Lagos to Abuja is about 100,000. So if you don't have money, you can't travel by air. So why is life becoming unbearable in all aspects and sector of our economy? It's a question mark that is begging for answer from this government.
Leadership on Friday. Politics now. After losing PDP G5, that is 5 governors, Atiku in talks with 5 APC governors, and have these riders will reveal their identity soon, says Olugodiyan, and another says it is wishful thinking, APC. Principles of religion, we burn down Nigeria, wicked ones. Another says Tinubu's manifesto not copy and paste, campaign council insists. Front page, leadership on Friday. Losing 5 governors of APC, allegedly, in talks with Atiku.
Before a statement is released like this, there should have been some certain information
at their disposal.
And we have seen it in 2015. We saw it, among the PDP governors who formed themselves they call themselves
New PDP.
New PDP. and they shifted their allegiance from Jonathan to Buhari.
So it's not new.
So it's not new. If it happens, it's part of our style, political style. You know, every country has their own style.
The Punch newspaper, front page. Federal government plans supplementary budget over rising inflation, depreciation, and this rider dollars closes at 895 naira on Thursday. Refs kick to 537,000 exchange rate. Government eyes more taxes. Flying incentives for Nigerians in 2023. Federal government must Chinese, Portuguese loans for railway projects.
See,
inflation.
See, the inflation is. I told you at my opening remark that the inflation rate is on the high side in these West African countries. Nigeria has about between 22 and 21. It was 20.77 in September, but now it has risen to 21.78.
Is it peculiar to Nigeria? As at yesterday, Turkey's was 85%.
No, you see, when you
we're not encouraging it, but then
you see, when you have inflation rate and you don't have food insecurity, you know, and then you can still gainfully employ youth. I mean, not only youth, give people employment in terms of empowerment, in terms of social protection. The inflation rate will not be pronounced in the life of the people. You know, like our home, people still go to Ghana. Ghana's inflation rate is 33.55. You know, as at September. So it doesn't mean people there. But in Nigeria, we have problem of unemployment. We have problem of underemployment. We have we lack social protection for the citizen. You know, therefore there is no empowerment for people to survive. This is and then there is food insecurity. There is no security on food. You know.
Shall we take the last newspaper? Times is on not outside the Nation newspaper. Front page, the Nation newspaper article. Firm in Rao over $5.9 million visa bill payment. And the other says company writes PDP candidate. Another that says no agreement signed, says ex-VP lawyer.
That maybe some people have signed an agreement
between the article firm, the $5.9 million visa bill payment.
You see, it's a serious matter. And you see, this thing is giving me serious fear about the 2023. Issues are being raised. The party chairman for PDP have been alleged of having collected 1 billion naira loan. Let me say loan. Where is that loan coming from? Which bank granted that loan? You know, and how can you move 1 billion without the knowledge of the money, without the knowledge of regulatory bodies? You know, but all these things, all this, with what's happening in APC,
allegations,
with what is happening in APC campaign council, there has never been a disagreement. There has never been any agreement on issues of campaign yet, and the election is going to be in the next 3 months. You know, they have not moved out to campaign.
You know, the campaign starts today. From Jos.
Before they agree on that, they were going to campaign with a lot of disagreement, with a lot of disagreed issues. And then the PDP are also battling on
their own side. On their own side,
are also battling with credibility and financial transparency issues. So we need to, you know, it's giving us serious fear.
Well, we pray that
so that the country will not be engaged, the politics will not be too heat up for the election to take place.
Let's just also pray that our political leaders will resolve their issues and will be able to have a peaceful election.
You see, it is when you will to, when there is willingness, there is a will. When there is no willingness, when you pray for somebody that is not willing to change, that prayer will not be effective. But when you pray for somebody that is willing to change and move forward, your prayer will be effective. I wish that our prayer will always be. Nigeria is a praying country, you know, and then I feel that they should allow, the leadership must allow the prayer of Nigerians to be answered.
Well, until some other time when we hope to be back in the studio for newspapers today. My name is Olanipe.
Thank you, Wale Adebisi.
Thank you for being with us. Until some other time, good morning.